Richie.
Jeremy.
And this is Week in Review with Richie and
Jeremy.
Jeremy, this is episode
21. This is one you've been looking for.
Woo! Happy 21st episode.
It's all downhill from here.
All downhill. All downhill.
What's the next milestone?
I don't know.
You guys are so excited about the 21st episode?
Holy crap, look who we have with us. We have the star of stage, film, and radio.
Oh, yeah,
the great,
stage, yeah.
famous person who I like to call one of my best friends.
Dino
Tripodis.
Thank you.
Hello, Dino.
Hey, Richie. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey.
How are you?
And I'm really starstruck here. I think I was telling you off radio, ever since Bottle the Bar came out and we talked about it and I started following it.
Which, by the way, gives me a chance to thank you face to face because you were one of the first to put out any press about it before it even came out. So I know I thanked you in text, but now I get to thank you in person. Thank you.
You're welcome because and I enjoy it. I enjoy the story because it's one of those things that we don't do enough of that in Ohio. Say, hey, where are these mom and pops that are going on and stuff? Well, wait, before I get too deep into it, can you explain to me what Bottle the Bar is?
Wait a second. Before we jump into Bottle and Bar.
I'm excited, man. I can't
Slow
help
down
it.
a little bit, man.
I can't help
Is this
it.
the first time you've met somebody who's famous?
I'm not famous. I'm not infamous. Debatable. Famous? No.
It's a great show.
It's
a great show.
Have you ever seen any of his other his films?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, there's some really good ones.
Yeah. I know that tone of voice. I've known Richie just long enough to know where the sarcasm is kind of sneaking in. You realize the relationship between he and I is a ball busting one. You know that.
Oh yeah.
So I have a funny feeling that's not going to be held back this evening on this particular podcast. In fact, I would have it no other way.
Right.
I mean, equally. So, and he's already thrown down the first stone, if you will, with that very subtle, sarcastic, oh.
Well,
because his filmography is so impressive. There you go. Bing, volley back and forth.
What was the one with you and Ralph? What was the name of that film?
Oh God. Don't you guys have to do the week in review first?
I don't know.
Can we come back?
I'm really
Can we come back to this?
Let's talk. I really want to talk about Bottle the Bar.
Well, before we get there,
we get there. There's a lot of things we can talk about from Bottle the Bar, and I will answer all your questions and happy to because
I'm super excited for this episode,
I am
man. I'm
flattered, touched that you guys are wearing some of the swag.
Yeah.
So right out of the gate, and I thought I was being self-indulgent by bringing a from Bottle to Bar tote and something special in the bag as well, which I'll get to in just a little bit.
Yeah, you sent a mug along with this shirt, and I actually have the mug in my office. I have a lot of memorabilia stuff from whenever I run into somebody and I get something like that, I stick it in my office. I just think that's a really cool thing. And like I said, I follow Bottle the Bar on YouTube, and whenever you guys come up with a new episode, it pops up, and I watch it.
So I know you're used to radio. You don't have to have the mic so close to your face on a podcast like this.
All right.
We have great mics that work really well. All right. So you don't have to feel like it's right on top of you.
I'm hiding behind it. I'm very self-conscious. It's my protective shield, but okay.
So funny.
Why am I pinging?
No, I have no idea. We don't have a sound guy.
All right.
No, we're good.
I will back it off a little bit just to make you happy because that's what I live for.
Well, I would hope so.
Where were we?
So what's going on in the Week in Review? Before we get into the shenanigans for our 21st episode extravaganza with
I'll calm down.
I like the
Dino
Week in
Tripodis.
Review. I like the week. I like the small stories that you might have missed in the mainstream news. So go, man.
Yeah, so a really crazy little story that happened right here in Pickwick County.
Like crazy?
Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
Well, yeah, what's crazy?
A woman walked out of her house in the morning, and all of a sudden she was missing one tire.
What?
Not all the tires.
The tire and rim? The whole thing?
The whole thing. Somebody had loosened her lug nuts and took her tire off.
Was it on top of cinder blocks?
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's what you normally see is like somebody cinder blocking a car and taking all 4 tires. Because what are you going to do with 1 tire?
What is this, the 70s?
Maybe, maybe whoever took it just needed the 1 tire.
Yep,
You know,
guess so.
sometimes there are tire thieves that just need what they need.
They just need a spare.
Yeah. Right?
Well, let's hold on 1 second. Let's think. Maybe it's an intelligent thief.
No.
And hold on. And if you take 1, the price of tires these days and rims are ridiculous. If you take more than 1, you could be pushing that threshold of $1,000, which then takes it from a misdemeanor to a felony. So maybe they were like, oh, if we're going to get in trouble, it's going to be only a misdemeanor, not a felony.
Well, the thieves not only
I like
took
the
the
fact
1
that
tire,
you know that.
but they actually hit a couple of the neighbors too and loosened the lug nuts on their vehicles.
Just loosened them.
Just loosened them and didn't actually take the tire. And I don't know why. It's just a very bizarre rash of thievery, I guess. And it's one of those ones that hasn't been solved yet. They're looking at some of the cameras around
They
the
got
area.
their best people on it.
They got the best people on it. But I mean, that could have been really dangerous if you were leaving your house and half your lugs were loosened.
It's an accident
You
waiting to
don't
happen.
know how many times I've left the house with half of my lugs loosened. But I digress.
So has the cop said anything? Is this the first time this has happened? Is this a repeat
this
kind
just
of
happened
thing?
about 24 hours ago, and they're checking some cameras and stuff like that, and they're trying to put it together at this point in time.
Well, you've seen enough true crime. You know, if they don't get to it in the
don't
next
get to the
48
thieves.
hours, the case is going to go cold. It just gets colder and colder.
Right.
If they don't hop on it now, that tire might be gone
could
forever.
Be gone.
Yeah. What else is going on?
So
What else happened this week?
I wanna. This is not a week in review thing. This is a week forward thing. I know you hate that. But 4th of July is coming up. This
It
is
just
the
ruins the
250th.
whole name of the show.
This is the 250th. I know I'm not wearing any
Thank
red, white
heavens, I'm
blood.
getting tired
The
of
week in
seeing
review
it.
goes to the week in preview, right? Okay,
Right.
all right.
Yeah,
Well, it's important.
It
We
is.
have fireworks that are happening. And,
Right.
we're celebrating the 250th of our country, and I think that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. Richie doesn't think that because he's from New York, and I guess those guys are a socialist or something up there. But
Wow.
But for me, it's a big deal, man.
You're not even American. You were born in Canada.
That's why I appreciate it even more.
He's Canadian?
He's a freaking Canuck.
It's all right.
Anyway,
He's made this country his own.
that's right.
That's what you need.
That's
And-
right.
And the fact that he wants to celebrate the 250th, anniversary of our country, good for him.
Have you seen-
Wait, the 250th anniversary
Communist.
of,
Right. You
of taking it away from Britain.
Have you seen the videos online of all the people coming over for the cup and them enjoying America?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to Waffle House. They're going to
Because nothing
Buc-ee's.
says America
But
like
they-
Waffle House.
But it does, right?
I
but
want
I
to
mean,
go
they're
to the
going to-
land
they're
of
going to-
scattered and smothered.
They're going to Walmart. One
Fight
thing I
Club.
didn't realize is that people don't have ranch around the world.
They don't have what?
Ranch dressing.
Oh, ranch dress. At
At
Well,
Walmart.
that would be why they're skinny elsewhere.
I did not. I
Have
did
you-
not know that.
Have you seen the ranch? The ranch that they offer in Walmart. Like I was looking for a specific salad dressing, and they didn't have it. Right, just one bottle of it. But they had a whole shelf of ranch dressing, different ones, different flavors of ranch, different brands of ranch, different sizes of ranch. Like I didn't realize ranch was such a big deal here. Do you like ranch?
I do like ranch dressing. I wasn't aware that there was a shortage of it in the rest of the world.
Right.
But okay.
Some of these people are saying that they're putting some in their suitcases and taking it home, like big bottles of it, because they just can't get it anywhere else.
Like when we take blue jeans over to another country and sell Levi's for the same thing. So you're telling me that there's a black market.
There's a black market for ranch. We can
ranch
get
dressing.
rich.
Okay.
Sell it by the ounce.
There's Okay.
On next week's episode of Week in Review, Richie flies to another country to bail out Jeremy for being arrested for selling ranch on the black
I was
market.
going to say, how much ranch dressing do you have to sell in order for it to be a felony, Richie?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Right. I'll just say underneath that threshold.
It's like stealing maple syrup from Canada.
Maple syrup is made in Maine, too.
All right. Okay. Wow. You know what?
Anyway,
I'm
let's
learning. I'm learning. I'm listening. I'm loving this, and I'm learning.
Anyway, let's get back to
You didn't know
fireworks.
what you were walking into, did you?
No, I did not. Yet I did, and I'm still here.
So, fireworks.
Oh yeah, the fireworks.
in Pickaway County.
Okay.
So there's two places that'll have fireworks in Pickaway County. Circleville is not one of them. Well, my neighbors will. I guarantee that. But the serious fireworks at Backwood Boom will be out in Williamsport this year. And they're going to do it right around the park out there. So that's a small area and stuff like that. So you could probably get some really good seats. I'm going to guess that that's going to be pretty busy out there because that's going to be a really good show. And then the Asheville 4th of July Festival. So Asheville has a 4th of July Festival. It starts tomorrow.
Okay.
And it runs all week.
All right.
So another thing celebrating America for a week, you know.
And Circleville
is not having a
It's
fireworks.
anti-4th of July.
No.
has
They had
nothing?
it last year, and these guys moved out to Williamsport just to give Williamsport a little love, and I think that's awesome. And Asheville has their 4th of July festival where they have, rides and food and events and fun things going on. So Asheville's kind of always been the front runner in Pickaway County because they have a festival that runs all week, which is really cool. They have parades and everything.
Good.
So
No
anyway,
parade in Circleville for the
No, the only parades we have in Circleville are for Pumpkin Show.
pumpkin show. Well, I mean
that's not true. That's not true either.
That's
we have
not true either.
We have
Okay,
Memorial
all right.
Day also.
okay.
Apparently, hold on, wait. I seen a post that they're going to have a parade on the Tuesday night of Pumpkin Show this year. I don't know if it's true or what, but supposedly for the 250 now, on the preview night they're gonna have a parade on that night for Pumpkin Show. That's what I seen. I don't know if it's true or false or what it is. It could be fake news. I don't know.
You sound very excited about it.
Oh yeah, I am. I could hardly contain myself.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the week in review?
So another crazy story that happened this week
story.
was there was a jogger that was out there by A.W. Marion Park, and the person was running through the park.
A jogger was running through the park. Okay, a jogger was jogging.
Sounds like that's a great place
That's
to do
what
it.
you would do at a park.
Right.
That's a slow news day so far.
So they just start running, and there's one vehicle in the park, and on top of the hood of this vehicle is a naked guy.
Oh, okay.
Sunbathing.
No, he wasn't sunbathing. He was doing something completely different.
Oh, was he sunning his asshole?
No, he was not. But he was doing something else. Well, anyway,
Just say what he was doing.
the jogger called 911.
I'm going to assume he was pleasuring himself because you don't want to say the words.
He was.
Okay. All right.
And
Did the jogger
they called
act?
911, and the police department was able to be quick enough to get out there before he,
Finished?
It was a race to that one.
Wow, you did. Oh, I should never have told this story.
And is that actually a 911 emergency? In the scope of things?
Well, I mean, the park's open to kids and things like that. I think it is.
Okay.
You never know. If somebody's crazy enough to take their clothes off and do something like that on a car, then, they probably need some...
Did anybody ask the car how it felt?
It wasn't even actually owned by him. It was owned by
He was on a
some-
strange car?
It was a stranger's car,
All right.
The story is just getting...
and he didn't have a license.
Where would he put it?
Where would he put it? That's pretty cool. That was quick. Yep. So anyway, cops got there and found him, in the buff, and he got
In the
got
buff,
arrested.
but
and-
not necessarily. Well, we don't know if he was in the act, but still.
But they charged him for it. So obviously they had enough evidence.
Okay.
What was the charge? Was it indecent
I
exposure?
just reeled
or-
that one to you.
Enough evidence. I would say who had to gather that.
Yep. So that
Was there a napkin or something? That proved-
right.
There are some high lobs that I will let just fly by.
Right. I saw that. I was handing that one to you. Get it?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. What else we got in the week in review?
Let's go. Let's move into this. I'm excited. I mean,
Those were good.
Thanks.
Those were good. Yeah. I feel like I have a collective knowledge now of
Circleville?
a week in Circleville. Yeah.
yeah, it's been a crazy week.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that a crazy week compared to other weeks in review?
No, I mean,
No, it's like the norm.
no. There's sometimes some
that's
crazy
just that's
stuff.
just a Tuesday.
It's just a Tuesday in Circleville.
Yeah.
Small town living, man.
Well,
You know.
I mean, I'm sure it happens other places too. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't pay attention to it. So
So Dino,
So Richie.
you started your career as a stand-up comedian.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's not the first job I ever had as far as careers go,
What
but
was
yeah.
the first job you had as a career go?
Oh gosh. Well, how far back do you want to go?
Well, you said first job.
First, well, you know as well. You know that I was an investigator before I was a stand-up comedian.
Correct.
investigator for
I was a private investigator for years before doing stand-up. And actually, when I started doing stand-up, I was actually doing both at the same time until the stand-up started to get actually successful. And I eventually kind of bowed out of the investigative work, but then got drawn back into it when I moved to Los Angeles to pursue my stand-up career and use the investigative work to supplement my income since I needed to stay in Los Angeles and kind of work the rooms, the Comedy Store, the Improv, and I didn't want to get a regular job, so I stayed with the firm as it were, because I had an office in Los Angeles and did stuff out there as well. So then, but yes, stand up.
Did you ever combine the two? Did you ever tell jokes about?
Ironically enough, no. Because I'm a huge fan of, take your life. I when it came to stand up, I would talk about my life. Exaggerations of truth becomes comedy, but I never talked about being an investigator on stage. I don't know. Maybe it was something that was too close to the vest, or maybe I just didn't see anything funny about it because it wasn't funny.
But you did talk about your grandmother.
I did talk about my grandmother. I have talked about my grandmother, my family, my dysfunctional ethnic family, and but yeah, never talked about the investigative work. But that was the career before stand-up. Stand-up led to radio, which I didn't think would last very long at all. So when I first moved back into town to take the radio gig, I kept everything out in L.A. for the most part, because I already had an apartment back here that I would come back to on a regular basis when I would come home to visit my daughter. So I had a little two-bedroom apartment at 3311 and a half North High Street forever. After I got divorced, that's where I moved into, and I kept that place. And I kept the place in L.A. too, because I was sharing I had a room at a house with some other people, so it wasn't super expensive. And, I thought radio was going to last a year. And after a year, it turned into 4 more, and 4 more turned into 24. And there you have it. So, but I always kept my foot in the water with stand-up for as long as I could. And still, to this day, I wonder, if I did the right thing, if I should have just, when they offered me the 4-year contract and said, we'd like you to stay, what would have happened if I said no and just like really dug in deeper and did the stand-up? Because I was making strides in that world. So, those forks in the road that everybody talks about, and you go this way or that way, I can't bitch about the way I took. It was hugely successful for 24 years. And then 3 years after that, after they fired me.
And then rehired you again?
And then rehired me. And then they fired me again. You have to be very special to get fired from the same job twice in 7 years. It's not something everybody can do.
Right. So comedy was a big love for you, is what you're saying.
Comedy still is a big love for me.
So do you watch? I watch a lot of comedy. I love comedy, like stand-up comedy stuff. What do you watch now? What is it? What do you enjoy watching?
As far as stand-up and comedy is concerned, I still like the smart voices, if that makes any sense. I mean, I like silly comedy too. Don't get me wrong. I like silly stuff. I actually enjoy right now. There's a lot of shows that are on right now where comics are just talking to each other, much like we're doing right now, talking to one another. And then when that humor comes out naturally and honestly and in the moment, that makes me laugh harder than anything. But I will watch, Dave Chappelle on Netflix. I will watch Jim Gaffigan. I'll still watch, and appreciate Jerry Seinfeld and people that I, was actually got a chance to work with back in the day when I was a young starting comedian.
I was talking about Jerry Seinfeld yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some great comedy.
It is.
I mean,
they
talked about just regular stuff. It was just regular daily stuff.
It's the minutia of daily things, and there's so many people that do so many. I have a lot of respect for all different types of comedy and how they do it, because those who are successful at it obviously do it well. You just don't get up there and wing it. I mean, there's guys that they hone the craft really well, and it's been interesting to watch certain people rise to the top, fall, come back. Louis C.K. is a perfect example. He's got a new special on Netflix that's just getting rave reviews, and he fell out of favor with his behaviors that were, discovered and bounced back. But what's the one common thread there through all of that stuff is that he stayed funny, and people were able to put aside the indiscretions. And they were pretty bad indiscretions.
Was he in a park?
He wasn't in a park laying on the hood of a car. No, it was a little more private. But those who appreciated the craft and the talent, stuck with him. And now, it's so funny, whether it's in show business, in sports, whatever the case might be. I find it amazing that people love when somebody gets knocked off the top of the crate that they may be standing upon, like Tiger Woods, the fall of Tiger Woods. But then but at the same time, they love the comeback story.
Sure.
They love seeing them rise from the ashes again.
Tiger Woods did that. He came back, and then he
fell again, and he came back, and he fell again. So I find that
Robert Downey never drive. He should never drive.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actors, comedians, writers, you name it. The creative world is just that. It's full of ups and downs. On the much smaller scale. 24 years in radio, and
how did radio get started?
I was a guest on Sunday 95 as a comedian. Okay. And the host of the show at that time said, well, hey, you're great whenever you're in town. Do you live here? I go, yeah, I live here. Would you like to come in and just hang out whenever you're in town? So I said, sure. So I would start to do that. And then they said, hey, when you're on the road, you want to call in when you're on the road. So if I was in Omaha, Nebraska, or Little Rock, Arkansas, I would call and do 5 minutes and make jokes about where I was at and so forth. And these things started to apparently register with the audience. They actually enjoyed them, and they enjoyed when I was on just hanging out. So when I was living in Los Angeles, there was an opportunity to be a co-host for the guy that was running the show at the time. And I said no. I said no once. I said no twice. Third time, I finally caved, and I started to think about things. My manager said, go ahead, give it a shot. My daughter was there. She was going to be 13 years old, kind of an important age. I I felt probably some responsibility. I've always felt the guilt that I was away when I was a comic and on the road. You know, I feel like I missed a lot of her important years. So yeah, I'll go back and I'll do it for a year. Well, it turns out I'm gonna try to. I've told this story before, but never to you. When we went in, it was a show called Bob Simpson and Company, and the company was Bob, who was great radio guy. And the company was myself, Stacey McKay, my co-host. Clark Donnelly did news, and we had a producer, Mike Elliott, at the time, who has now gone on to be quite a prominent figure in the iHeart organization. He did great. A year went by. Simpson and Company didn't work. And I find that interesting, too, because I don't think I worked harder in any year of radio than I did that year.
Really?
Writing bits, writing sketches, writing something every day. I still have my notebook full of Simpson and Company, where we did characters and sketches and vignettes and different weekend reviews,
Right.
but humorously so. You know.
Sure.
Well, are you saying we're not humorous?
I didn't say that, but did I? I guess I did say that. But you get what I'm saying. I'm using you as an example. Man,
Well, yeah, he's really not funny.
actually, he has got a great sense of humor. He works with you.
Right.
He has to. And that show failed. And who takes the hit? The lead guy. Right?
Right.
They fired Bob Simpson. I went into the lunchroom with my producer and Stacy and Clark, and I said, let's pretend like each show is going to be our last, because this is October, and by the end of December, they'll probably politely tell us that we're gone too. They'll have found a new show to put into place. So let's just pretend like every show's our last show. Dump all the stuff that we were doing. No more sketches, no more skits, no more bits. Just be real people and feed off of that. That was the suggestion. So we did that. And apparently it caught on, because next ratings book, the numbers are up. January, when I'm expecting the thank you so much, Dean, sorry to this work out, they offer us the 4-year contract for Dino and Stacy. And that's how that began.
Okay.
So no intentions, no desire, no ambition, if you will, to
No special sauce.
to go into radio. That was not the plan. Sometimes things that are not the plan end up being the plan. Yeah, right? And then, it turned out great. And then 24 years later,
They fired you, hired you back, fired you again.
yeah, that's this. I don't think I've ever said this on anybody's podcast before, because when I left after 24 years on the air, I had a week-long goodbye, because it was like retire or get fired, which actually I did get fired, but we made it seem like I was retiring. And that was my choice. I could have just been there on a Friday, not been there on a Monday. And I don't mean this to sound corny or less than authentic, but I felt I had an obligation to the audience after 24 years. I thought they deserved better than that. And the station graciously allowed me to have that long goodbye. And now in hindsight, I'm thinking, well, yeah, of course they did, because if I just would have been fired, they would have caught so much shit, which they did the second time, because the second time when we got fired, I wasn't polite about it. It was like, no, we got fired. They got the hate started pouring in, because we all got fired. Stacy, myself, Greg, Clark, we all got fired in one fell swoop. But the first time, it was like, oh, why? Oh, good luck, blah, 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 this and that and the other thing. But it was more palatable for everybody. And then they asked me back 3 years later, because the gentleman who took over the show did not do well with it.
What a weird call. After telling you fired or retire. And sure, you did, you walked out gracefully, but what a weird call, because they pretty much pushed you out the door, and now they're calling you up. I mean, hopefully you.
I will be gracious and tell you that I know the reason why I got fired, and it wasn't for performance, and it wasn't for ratings. It wasn't any of those things. I know why, and I won't even get into it. But I understood it. And at the time they did it, I was pretty fed up with how things were. And Richie will tell you that I will voice my opinion and share my thoughts and emotions. And so when they said, you're going, I went, okay. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm ready to at this point, because I was having a difficult time doing what they wanted me to do because they didn't know what they wanted to do. They kept knee jerking. Let's try this. Let's try that. I go, why don't you just let us do the show? And, not worry about, there was a thing called, and I think it's still out there, time spent listening, they did all the math, and you should talk for 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and if you're not into a commercial break by 42 of the hour, we lose. The math got stupid and made me crazy. So I wasn't shocked when it happened, and I was okay when it happened. But then, shortly after that, the pandemic, and
well, in between there, you were an actor as well. Still are an actor,
Yeah.
but then how did the acting transition into that?
I don't know.
No, it just happened.
It just
Like,
I
you're
think
Dino, right? Yeah, we need you on film.
yeah, it's just I think it's something that I've always wanted to do. In fact, I think there was probably a time in my childhood where I, like a lot of people, I love the movies, and I think at one point I thought to myself as a kid, I might want to be an actor. And in high school, my freshman year of high school, they stopped the theater program, so there were no school plays to try out for. So there was nothing to give me the incentive to continue to pursue it.
Okay.
All right, like if I would have been in the school play freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, then maybe I would have gone off to college and studied more, and it would have been. But it kind of went away. So I leaned into my second favorite thing at that time. I like crime. I mean, on the good side, not the bad side.
No stealing tires.
No stealing tires. No loosening lug nuts. I've always been fascinated by crime and criminals, and more so the sociopathic part of it, how they think, how they work, and so forth. And I love a mystery. I love, so I was fascinated by the criminal mind. So when I went to Ohio State, my major was criminology and English literature, which, go figure. It was my minor. It was my minor. And I'm happy to say I successfully finished neither. So I did not get a degree at either one of them. A lot of experience, but not a degree.
What was your first film?
First film, you know what the first film was.
What was the name of it?
The original title was Blood Church.
Blood Church.
It was then changed to Heartland of Darkness.
Which you could find on multiple different platforms if you want to watch it.
Yes, you can.
It also stars Ralph Scott.
It also our buddy Ralph Scott. I think I was all of 29 when we did that movie. I mean, you look at us, we look like babies.
You do.
We look like babies playing grown-ups.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a girl that plays my daughter in the film, and she looks like my, a girlfriend that was still too young even then to have. But, it's just like the best of intentions. But that's the beautiful thing about when you're working and you're in it. At the time, we thought we were making the greatest. It was a satanic panic type of movie. We shot it out in Granville, Denison University, and it had all that flavor of going evil priest, Satan. The whole town is worshiping Satan, and I'm this
You're running through the woods.
big time reporter who decides to slow down and open up a newspaper in Copperton, Ohio, with my daughter, and I don't even remember what happened, if they even mentioned that I had a wife or if I was divorced or anything. I don't recall. Yeah.
For the record, there's nothing wrong with starting up a newspaper.
Nothing wrong with starting up a newspaper at all. But, you know, it's a fun watch now for all the wrong reasons. Right? It's laugh out funny when it shouldn't be. But we were so earnest and so
You wanted to do something.
yeah, we thought we were doing the very best that we could do with what we had, and you know, and it languished. It sat there uncompleted for literally decades.
Oh wow.
Yeah. One of the big selling points, one of the stars in it was a lady by the name of Linnea Quigley. Linnea Quigley was well known in horror film circles as Queen of the Screams. She was in a lot of horror films, and she had a following. So that was like money in the bank at that particular time, 1989, 88, I don't know, it was late 80s, to have Linnea Quigley on the film, because that was almost a guaranteed sale. But something happened, and I don't know all the particulars. It never got completely edited, finished, and whatnot. So it just sat and languished. And fans of Linnea Quigley, whatever happened to the lost Linnea Quigley film? You know, whatever happened to it? And it just, I used to do jokes on stage about making the movie after the fact, and after I saw some footage, and I went, oh my God. You know, I used to make jokes about that. What was the joke? I mean, granted, this is when we had VHS and no DVDs. I said, bad movie. You're not going to see it in the theaters. It's going to go straight to video. In fact, it might skip video and go straight to slides. was the joke back then, which actually resonated a little funnier because, you know, people still knew what slides were. But that was the first movie. Yes.
That would be a TikTok, right? You just go straight to TikTok.
Yeah,
much.
right.
Yeah.
And then it was Bottom Feeders.
I haven't seen Bottom Feeders.
Oh, that's another. That's another one.
I got to see Bottom Feeders now.
Plank McCall.
Plank McCall.
That's my
Okay.
character's name in that one.
Okay.
Plank McCall.
Yep.
Come up with that.
Out of jail, wanting to go straight. Crazy brother-in-law draws him into something that so he helps his brother-in-law, and they end up stealing a bunch of money from a mob guy who was played by John Saxon, the actor John Saxon.
Okay.
We got him for 2 days, and it's the movie is not bad. We actually screened that one. We premiered it, and it played at AMC Lenox for a week. And it drew a good Columbus crowd. There was a Dispatch film critic by the name of Frank Cabrera who actually gave the film a decent review, said it was kind of Quentin Tarantino light, if you will.
Okay.
I got to watch this now because I love Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, it's called Bottom Feeders. In Europe, it was called Criminal Minds. They changed the title when they released it in Europe, and Gabrania actually gave me a good review. What do you say? Tripodis is reminiscent of a hangdog George Clooney, is how I believe is what he said. And I went, all right, I'll take that.
Right.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that, and that was shot on film
Okay.
back then.
All
so
right. Oh,
that was right before the advent of shooting things on video and digital. So it was actually shot on film. So it was, expensive to make.
I'm gonna jump over COVID and down to the felt for a second.
Dude,
But
please.
then we also had recently you had Pig Hill, a movie Pig Hill
Yeah.
that premiered in overseas.
Premiered at some one of the hugest horror festivals in London is where it got its premiere. Yeah, I did Pig Hill, which was up in Meadville, Pennsylvania. Shane West and one of the Qualley sisters, not Margaret, the other one, the younger one, Rob. Oh, God, shame on me.
And that's available on all platforms too. It just came out like a couple months back, like six months or so.
Yeah. And it also had a premiere here at Nightmares Festival. Last October.
That's right.
Was its it might have been its U.S. premiere actually. I think about it.
Right.
Here at Nightmares Festival. Yeah, I have a supporting role in that as the king of Pig Hill, and the premise of that is there's murders occurring in Meadville, Pennsylvania, and they're trying to blame it on the pig people? Which is urban legend in Meadville, Pennsylvania, that there is a bunch of hybrid pig people that supposedly exist and live in the woods in Meadville, Pennsylvania. So,
I never even knew that they had something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the Mothman, right? We have Mothman in Ohio, and people are really big on that. That's crazy. I didn't know they had pigmen.
So I was the king of Pig Hill. I had an illegal pig farm, and I knew what was going on. And I have a nice little chunk where I offer up pretty much the backstory and the legend and debunk some of the myth and mythology and tell these kids, Shane West and Robin, I think it was Robin, Rain. That's going to bug me. You're going to have to look it up. That's making me crazy now. Debunk what they've heard and tell them the story as I know it. And it was fun because it was a character that
Rainy Qualley?
Rainy Qualley. Yeah. I was a character that I had to he was big. He was big and over the top, and it was fun to do. And yeah.
And
So
then you just
horror-
hold on. And
criminal
then
and
you just finished shooting a film up in
Oh
Cleveland
Jesus, I forgot about that.
where you actually shot your audition here at Big Apple Studios.
I did.
You shot your audition here at Big Apple Studios.
And it's
That's
a film.
cool.
It's a film that I would not have been aware of if Richie hadn't told me about it and said, "Get down here and audition for this."
Did you audition for that one too?
He did.
I did.
Did you get anything?
I did not.
He did not.
I did not.
I
But
took
you got
it.
the
I took
lead,
it.
correct?
I got. Yeah. It's not. I don't consider it the lead. I think the bad guy in it is more the lead, and but I'll probably get second or third billing in that one. Avenging Justice.
Avenging Justice.
And I have no idea how that film's going to turn out. It was a micro budget film shot up in Cleveland. Great people. Everybody I worked with was really good. Again, good, bad, indifferent. I think we as actors do the very best we can with the material that's handed to us at the time. And you never know.
I thought Down to the Felt was an excellent movie.
Oh, I think Down to the Felt's a great movie. Yeah.
You know, because that's kind of like that too. I don't know what the difference is between a micro budget and what. I mean, that was a short.
That was
that
was a low budget film. Not I don't know if
It was only
considered
filmed like 3 or 4
1.5
days or
million?
something, wasn't it?
1.5
1.5
million.
million
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
budget on that film?
Was that and
1.3, 1.5, something like that.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. No, I'm very proud of Down to the Felt.
No, excellent.
And
movie.
if it wasn't for Down to the Felt, this here right now,
Right.
me and him talking, the friendship, that we have, wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for Down to the
Just
Felt.
think of where you'd be.
I wouldn't be here talking to him. Maybe just talking to you.
Right.
I don't know.
Fine.
No, that's how we met Richie, and Richie's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. We saw something in him, and we were just trying to figure out where and what what? There was something. So we kept bringing him back, trying to figure out where that slot was that he was going to fit. And, he does a great job in Down to the Felt. He's terrific.
Thank
It's
you.
a small part, but it's part of it. It's
Right.
part of the moving pieces in it, and he's great. So, but if it weren't for that film, we all wouldn't be
here today.
We wouldn't be friends right now. Yeah. So
So it seems like you do a lot of criminal movies and you do a lot of horror movies. You ever think about doing like a love story? Guy meets girl or
we
something
did.
like that?
There was one film you skipped that I co-wrote and produced and actually performed in The Street Where We Live.
The Street Where We Live, yes.
Yes, and that is a more dramatic.
And your daughter's in that film, isn't she?
My daughter's not in that
No, you
film.
don't- is-
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
No. I don't think so. I don't think I've been in anything with my daughter.
Okay.
I would love to. My daughter's a great
Maybe that's
actress.
what it was.
But Street Where We Live was something that we shot for very, very, very low money, and that was a friends and family project. I mean, literally everybody that worked on that film worked for free, and we actually made a nice little feature film that won Best Feature at the Glass City Film Festival up in Toledo, and that also is still available as we speak on certain streaming networks. I know it was on Tubi forever, and it resurfaced again on YouTube Movies, and people were watching it again and rediscovering it. And no, very, very, very proud of that film. John Whitney, who does the podcast with me, he directed it. Phil Garrett, who I'm sure you're familiar with, also was one of the producers as well. And I just heard that we just got it back from our distributor because they were entitled to keep it for 7 years, and that
Okay.
and that time is up. So
So now
we
you
actually
have rights to do what you want to do.
to
with
do
it.
what we want with it, and yeah, and I don't know what we're going to do with it, but it'd be nice to know that something will be done with it that I'll know about, because I remember someone telling me that I just bought your movie. I go, what movie? Street Where You Live. Where? Walmart. Really? Had no idea that there was had no idea there was a DVD release at that particular time.
This kind of just moves around and people buy it up and to produce it and
Yeah, man.
see what happens to it.
The distribution deals are that's just such a gray area in the filmmaking world. We could do a whole podcast on that alone.
So that brings us to COVID now.
We're going back to COVID.
We're going back to COVID. So, radio, COVID happened.
Yeah, radio. Here's a life lesson. Don't believe your own press. When I got fired, everybody said, "Oh, you're going to be fine as soon as you're non-compete," because there were still non-competes. Non-competes were going away soon thereafter, but I still had a non-compete. When your non-compete's over with, people are going to be knocking on your door. 24 years, da-da-da. Well, non-compete was over with, and I had a decent amount of severance, and I had a decent, not a huge amount of money, but some money in the 401k that I had tucked away. I wasn't self-confessed, I was making good money. I probably should have saved more money, but I was very generous with my money. If somebody needed money, I gave it to them. If I wanted to buy a TV, I bought a TV. If I wanted to drive, you spend what you make, and I did it. I still saved, but after the 9 months were up, nobody called. After a year, nobody called, nobody knocked. I had opportunities to probably pursue radio in another market, but I didn't, because I had made the decision that I wanted to stay put where my family was, my friends. I didn't want to just pull up the roots and
Sure.
go someplace
Start somewhere else.
Start someplace else that might not last a year or two.
Sure.
I didn't want to be Baby, if you ever wonder
what
up
was
and down
your
the
age
dial.
range when this happened? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
That you bring up an excellent question, because this was also my first experience with a little thing they call ageism. If you're in radio or if you're in television and you have a 30-year career, okay, and applause. He's a legend in broadcasting.
Sure.
Okay, and if you can stick that out, if I could have stuck out Sunny 95 until we all got fired in 24. What? This is 26. 2 years ago? 24. We all got fired. If I could have stuck it out until 2024, 18, 6 more, gosh, that would have been, 30 years. It would have been better, but it didn't happen. I did 27 in total. But my point is, once you get pushed out that door in that world, you may have the title of a legendary career. Not a lot of people work at one station for 24 years, let alone 24 years in radio. I was at one station. But once that door closes, the legend can't get back in. Nobody wanted to hire a 60-some-year-old. I'm 67 now, so I was 60 when that 61 years old when that happened. Okay, and that was fine because I have other talents, and I used all those other talents while I was working at the radio station. I still did stand-up. I still made films. I still wrote. I still did other things. I still spoke. I had speaking engagements. I had a lot of stuff lined up to do, so I wasn't without work.
Sure.
I just didn't have another radio job, and that was okay. But then the pandemic hit, and everything I did and everything I was doing involved being in front of people. There was no people. So canceled, shut down, canceled. Now I'm sitting like we're sitting here with nothing to do and nowhere to go. It affected me.
Sure.
It affected me in a bad way. Sidebar, one of the things that I do right now is I work with Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation as an ambassador for an organization called mantherapy.org, which is a humorous website that encourages men with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, through humor to encourage them to get the stick out of their ass and get the help that they need. Okay.
Men need that.
Men do need that.
Mm-hmm.
Men do need that. And I happened upon this by having the executive director of Ohio Suicide on my podcast, Whiskey Business. And it was on that podcast that I think I may have mentioned, at least in detail, I may have touched upon it in previous podcasts before, but we had an open, honest conversation about depression. And I went into detail about that I suffer from depression and have since 1996 when I was clinically diagnosed. And I still have bouts and battles with it. My point being that during COVID and that time is when depression's a demon. It's a nasty, nasty ass demon that just kind of lurks and waits for opportunities, to drag you down. Sometimes when you're at your worst, sometimes when you're at your best, because when I was diagnosed in 1996, life couldn't have been freaking better. I got a raise at the radio station. I had a girlfriend. I had a nice car for a change. I had a great apartment. I had a big screen television. Life was good, and I couldn't get off the couch. I still do this. I'm very good at compartmentalizing, and I was very good at it then. I got off the couch enough to go to work, do the show, put myself in the little square, the bubble, call it what you want, do the show. You wouldn't have thought anything. As soon as I got done with the show, went home, back on the couch, and it was that way for a while. And I said, I got to do something about it. So yeah, I'm a huge advocate for mental health.
That's cool. Appreciate that.
Men, women, everybody. But the pandemic, I was lost. And to come full circle, so were some of my friends,
Sure.
Ralph Scott, John Osbeck, and two very talented, creative people. And
they're people too. You know, they want to get out there and they want to socialize and they want to. You know, that was a problem. That was a problem with COVID, is that there's people out there that they have to have other people to kind of fill their cups.
Right.
You know, and when you don't have that and you get cut off from that, people suffer.
well, they said, "You want to help us write this script?" And that was Down to the Felt. They brought the idea. It was something that Ralph and his friend Todd Covert had done a one-page on. Then Ralphie had met with John, and then, do you think Dino would be interested in this? And gee, a compulsive gambler who hires a hitman to kill him in 2 weeks so his mother can get his insurance money. Yeah, that sounds right. That tracks. I like to gamble. So yeah, they brought in, and we started to write Down to the Felt. And yeah, were we getting paid to write it? No, but the payment was the camaraderie. The payment was the joy in creating. The payment was the benefits of releasing those endorphins again.
Sure.
And feeling like you're contributing
Sure.
something to the mix. Despite how good Down to the Felt is, people say, what was your favorite part about making that movie? I would say writing that script with my boys.
Sure.
Being
Because
in that room.
You were in a place where you needed something. And you attached yourself to that and pulled you out of something.
We did. And the plan was to write it, and sell it, and write another one, and sell another one. And we had the initial plan was not to make it, you know, but we did, and we did it well, and a lot of lessons learned in the process from doing that. But I can't, I can't put the amount of value. I would say that I don't think it's too big of an exaggeration to say that in some way that writing that script with those guys, John and Ralph, it saved me at that particular time in life. And then I was asked to come back to radio. For half the money.
For half the money.
I didn't care.
Ooh.
I realized I needed the structure. So
Sure.
I was reluctant to go back because I was pretty sure nothing had changed. And nothing had changed. But you suck it up. I needed to work. And I was asked to do something that I loved doing. So I went back and
Put on that old pair of shoes.
Put on the old pair of shoes and had fun and went back because I needed the structure. Then I got fired again. But the difference this time was when I got fired this time, we were just starting to shoot Down to the Felt. And I remember leaving that boardroom where they were very nice, very kind, said, well, this is the package we're offering for you this time around, and thank you, so forth and so on. And I remember saying, well, thank you, gentlemen. It's very kind of you. Now, if there's nothing else, I believe I have $1 million movie to finish making. And I walked out the door. And I was bummed out, man, because I was mad. I was mad that they fired us because aside from the radio job, I was excited about sharing the progress of that film with listeners on the air, you know, not bragging, sharing. There's a difference.
No, it's a big deal to create, and that's one thing that's pulled me into some of the stuff that you guys are doing. You know, is like you're making things here, and I think that's a really cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a lot of other movies that we see are mainstream movies and things like that, but we're not looking at the mom and the pops. These localized movies from people that we could meet on the street,
Right?
And you're like, wow, like I really like that. I liked Richie and Down to the Felt. You know, I liked that movie, and that was cool to go to the the show and when you guys first played it and just
premiere
watch
in
it for the
Columbus,
first
yes.
time. And
Southern
and it
Theater,
was in Columbus, and it was a big deal.
That
And
was an amazing.
Sold
It
out.
was an amazing that
Southern
almost
Theater.
that almost I think back on that night, and it seems almost surreal.
Yeah. I'd never experienced something like that before, like a preview
Me
movie
either.
like that. And like, people coming in and talking about it
Right.
and just like, and it got, they built it up before I watched it. But the good thing it didn't suck.
It's true.
But it did. It was a good
thing.
movie. But that was fun.
Yeah,
It was all fun.
it was all fun. And I'm glad that was happening because I told myself when I got fired the second time that I wasn't going to go back into that nasty place again. So I started to think about things, and if I can't, because during the pandemic also, aside from no creative jobs and no radio station hiring back, I applied. Just now we're talking 2 years have passed. I was gone from radio for 3 before I got hired back. 2 years had passed, and I'm bleeding money and sucking off my own teat, as they say. And you'd be surprised when there's nothing coming in how fast it all goes out.
Sure.
I applied for other jobed. It wasn't like if I can't work in radio, I'm not going to work. I went to the post office and applied to work at the post office. I applied to work on Amazon. I can give you half a dozen different jobs that I never heard back, never got an interview, and then I thought, I get it. Now I'm 63, almost 64. They don't want to hire. Maybe they don't want to hire. Maybe they don't want to hire a 64-year-old. So make your own music. And
Yeah.
That brings us
to
now.
I know.
To
And
now.
I'm excited about this,
That
man.
brings us here.
It brings us here.
So Dino Tripodis.
Yes.
Well, once again, thank you, Dino, for coming on our show for our 21st episode. I want to thank you for that.
I want to thank you for thinking of me.
It's a big deal for us, first of all, to have our 21st episode. I've had to put up with Jeremy for 21 weeks. 21 weeks of him wearing some T-shirts. And,
American T-shirts.
But like,
Not even Canadian ones.
It's the only thing he owns is like American flag T-shirts. It's like he.
It's hard to be
It's not like he's
patriotic
even from
around
Canada. He's from the mid. He's from the Midwest. And I've had to put up with this for
proud of where we
21
come from.
years. You come from Canada.
But he's proud to be an American.
Right.
And
He has a Canadian birth certificate.
Because he was born in Canada.
Exactly.
Why are you saying it like that? He has a Canadian birth. Where's his birth certificate supposed to be from? He was born in Canada. Oh, you're saying that because he should not be this enthusiastic? We're going back. We're coming back to the beginning again.
He should like I had to start wearing Italian T-shirts just to offset him.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense, but he feels
But
justified.
in his world and in his mind,
Yeah.
I'm sure it
that
does.
mind.
Oh my God.
So anyway, thank you for coming
You're
to
welcome.
our 21st episode. And with that, I would like to talk about your latest endeavor.